Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. And in today's video, we are going to see how to mine Slack data using Phantombuster. Now, Slack isn't just a messaging tool. It's one of the most underutilized growth databases out there. So the question is, what if you could extract targeted users and message them automatically? That too with minimal manual effort. So that's what we are going to see in this video using Phantombuster. So let's quickly move into it. And the first phantom that we are going to see is the Slack channel user extractor. Now over here, say for example, you're part of a Slack community and you know that community is relevant to the industry that you're in. Your product is built around that. And you would want to reach out to specific people in that particular community to introduce yourself or to share about your product or for them to know more about what you're building and say schedule a demo. So how do you do that is what we are going to see. Now in this particular phantom, what we need to do is one, we need to give the phantom the Slack cookie, the link to the Slack workspace, and which particular channel do we want the users to be extracted from. And the output that we get will include complete details of that person. That includes their first name, last name, any contact details they have kept open on their profile. We're able to access that along with their designation. So let's quickly see how to use it. So when I click on use now, the first thing that I have to do over here is connect with my Slack account that is active on my Chrome tab. Next is I need to add the Slack workspace URL. So in this case, say for example, I'm part of this community called as RevGenius. So what I can do is I can just simply add that particular workspace's URL. So where do we find the workspace URL is when you hover over here onto that particular community's page, you can see there is this line written over here. That is the community, or rather that's the workspace URL. Moving on, once this is done, it will ask us to mention the channel name. So for sure, we see that there are a lot of channels over here in this particular Slack workspace. So I'll just take, say, the general workspace that is there, and I'll mention that particular name. Yeah. And once I have added that and I move forward, it's going to ask me that how many channels do I want to process or how many users do I want to scrape. And if I keep it blank, then it will scrape all of them. But it becomes very important for you to see which particular channel is relevant for you. Now, in this case, say for example, the general chat has around 62,000 or so members, which I can see over here. But if there is any specific channel, like there is the job posting channel. Now, say if I build a product that is focused towards selling to recruiters. So what I would want is I want to see that who are the people who are posting for jobs, and then I would want to just target them. If I'm looking for someone in the GTM space, then I can target that particular channel. So that is how you can scrape for, or rather you can get data of specific channels itself. Moving on, I'm just keeping it blank for now so that I get all the details that are available. And finally, I'll just start with the launch. So initially what it does is it connects with your Slack account and then finally starts scraping that data. And this is how the output looks like. So we already have an output in place wherein you can see that we have the ID, that's their Slack ID of that particular user, their contact name, the designation that they are having mentioned on their Slack ID, and at the same time we are able to get email, phone number or Skype IDs if they have kept on their profiles. Now the most interesting thing over here is, say for example, in this case I have a database of 9,000 or so in place over here. And now comes the most important part, is wherein I want to do a targeted outreach. So the first thing over here is that we have used Phantombuster to get the user data. That's one of the most important things that we have done over here. Next is, say for example, I want to filter this data and select data as per my ICP that I want to approach. Now there are 2-3 things over here. If you have the email IDs in place, you can directly send an email to them. If you have the phone number, then for sure you can give them a call or you can drop a quick WhatsApp message. If you have Skype, again, you can message over Skype. What you can additionally also do is that you can find LinkedIn profiles of these prospects by using the LinkedIn profile URL finder, wherein you need to input the full name and the company name. But in this case, since we just have the full name and title, what we can do is we can use Clay over here, wherein once, say for example, over here I have imported the data onto Clay and I've used one of their AIs to find the LinkedIn profiles. And I have the LinkedIn profile right here, which sort of gives me more visibility into knowing what their background is on LinkedIn. But say for example, you want to approach them on Slack itself so that you are able to build that context, build that warmth while approaching, since you are part of the same community. Then how do you do that? So for that, we have Slack's message sender. And again, we have to give those basic details about the workspace URL and the user IDs, which is the most important aspect over here. So before using that particular Phantom, what am I going to do is I'm going to just quickly filter this data. So say, for example, I want to approach founders in US or in America. And what I will do is I'll just simply put in founder as a search item over here. I'll select all the relevant titles. So I have founders, co-founders over here. And then as per the time zone, I'm going to just quickly take America and then say Chicago over here to target people in US and Chicago. So I have this particular list. What I've done is I've just simply kept it into my outreach data sheet over here so that I can link this onto Phantombuster, which includes the user ID. So let's quickly start using the Slack message center. So how do we use it is once we click on use now, we have to again add the workspace URL. So the community that we are part in, just ensure that you're not adding the workspace URL of any other particular workspace apart from the one from which you have extracted the users, because the user ID is unique to that particular workspace itself. Then for having the user ID in place, I can either add them manually or I can add the link over here of that particular file. So I'll just say copy that particular link, I've pasted over here and I'll click on save. Okay. So once that is done, what it's going to ask me is very simply the behavior in terms of the message. So what is the message that I actually want to send? I can draft it over here. I can personalize it since I have the first name in place. And it is even going to put a limit as to how many number of messages that I can send. So see, if you have a list of, in this case, say if I have a list of 90 people, then I can put, say, send 90 messages over here and I can draft my message and then I can continue. So once that is done, all you have to do is just quickly launch and this particular Phantom automatically starts sending them messages. So this is how you can use Phantombuster to not just extract data from Slack, but also do your outreach. Now, Slack is one of the most highest intent platforms if used correctly. Most people just chat on it, but you can actually build pipeline from it. So if this video has helped, please do like and subscribe to our channel. And thank you so much for watching this video. See you in the next one.